I mean, I don't really think anybody was surprised by this. 33-16, and it really was worse than that. I mean, it was 33-3 there near the end. We got two trash touchdowns, and really, Oak State only scored a touchdown in the second half. And that wasn't because we had some stifling defense. Now, Okie State they missed some opportunities and they kind of shut it down too. Like I said in my last video, we were going to lose this game. Oklahoma State is just a better football team. Brandon Wheat, and like I said, I'll say it again because I said the first of the season. I thought that Oklahoma State was going to be one of the worst teams in the Big 12, and they could very well win this thing. And Texas is the worst team in the Big 12. I don't care who else is out there. The Longhorns are the worst team in the Big 12. This is not a good football team. It's not about effort. It's not about trying hard. It's not about that. It's about execution. It's not a good team. They're not good. And you look, Oklahoma State, Brandon Whedon, he's on the money and everything. I mean, he was accurate. He really knows that offense well. I mean, he runs that offense about as well as Colt did the offense here. Knows where all his reads are. Knows exactly how to hit his guys. Knows how to throw it to each guy out there. Dude's a baller. And Justin Blackman is just a beast. I mean, he goes up and gets pretty much everything. And the offense. I mean, we had one play where we had pressure on Whedon. Other than that, their offensive line held us at bay the whole time. I'm not sure how much effort they were getting from our defense. On the Texas side of the ball, nobody played good. I mean, it's a bad team. It was better than last week, but I mean, that's not saying much because that was one of the worst performances of all time from a Texas team. What this game was. The game started off 3-3, and what it was two teams fighting it out. One team was given all they had. They had put everything on the table. The other was filling the other one out, and it was Oklahoma State filling out Texas. And Oklahoma State, all right, we need to put this in another gear. They turn up the gear, and Texas is like, well, this is all we've got. This is all we have to work with. And so Okie State's able to run away with it. And again, you go back, I said this in the Baylor game, I've seen Oklahoma State play better than this. This was not Oklahoma State's best game of the year, and they're going to have to play better if they're going to want to beat Oklahoma later on. I think they can. I think this is going to be a good ball game with them and OU. Oklahoma State's have to play better than tonight to beat Oklahoma, and they can though. I've seen them play better. Like I said, just like the Baylor game, I don't think they brought their A game, but what they brought was well and good enough to beat Texas. Because this just. And I guess talking about specifics, quarterback Garrett. What did I say about this Garrett? And whatever you guys say, he didn't play well today. He hadn't played. He like the rest of the team hasn't played great. But what I see a guy who want. If you want to talk about effort, I will say he's one of the few guys I can see on the field physically, really wanting to win and wanting to do what's right. Does he make the best decisions? No, he doesn't. But I can see an upside to him. But the dude is surrounded by garbage. I mean, there's nothing for him. The offensive line can't block. I thought Fozzie Whitaker had an excellent first quarter. So I'm not going to rip on Foz. I think Foz. Apparently, I listened to Mac after the game on the press on the post game show. I think he said that Foz, he's been having a stinger in the shoulder for a long time, and I think that flared up again. Because Foz is our best back. Because Cody Johnson gave us nothing tonight. Trey Newton was hurt, but Trey had given us nothing tonight. So Robertson came in there at the end. He had the touchdown, so he got one carry for 2 yards and a TD. So good night for him. But you look at what Garrett's surrounded by. He has no go-to wideout. I mean. Once again, Malcolm Williams is nowhere to be seen. He can't get open. I will say at the first of the game, the guys were catching the ball. Childs was coming down with it. James, Mike played a good game. Mike's been having good games. Mike Davis is a good player. But then there at the end, can't find anybody open. He's throwing bad passes. It's just not good. And then on the defensive side of the ball, like I said, that's the defensive side what makes me the maddest though, because I can almost like look at the offense just like they're not any good, but the defense has athletes. They couldn't cover anybody, and they were outmatched. I mean, the Oklahoma State offense was a better unit than the Texas defense. That being said, there were some pretty inexcusable, like wide open players out there for Oak State. Blake Gideon, he was over pursuing everything, and he's been doing that all year. Both rushing touchdowns that Oklahoma State had, one was to the left side, one was to the right side. Both times was toward Blake Gideon, and both times he overran the play. The back just stopped and was able to run to the end zone. I think Hunter got one of them. There might have been another guy, I can't remember. I think Hunter got one of those. But yeah, Kendall Hunter was run all over us. Just, not a good football team. I said in my last video, we were gonna get beat. Next week, and I'm dead serious. I'm not. This is not me just trying to mope and moan. Like, I really do think next week is going to be a very difficult game for Texas, because the way that Texas is playing right now, it is. I mean, I don't know anything about Florida Atlantic. I really don't. I haven't looked at their schedule. I haven't looked at who they've got. I haven't looked at what they've done. So, any you FAU fans out there, I'm not trying to diss y'all or whatever, but right now Texas is playing at a level where I could see them losing to a team like Florida Atlantic here in Austin. I could see it. We'll see what happens. And so now I get to close another chapter in 2010 Texas Longhorns and get to open up another one for the 2010 Dallas Cowboys. It's this football season. I mean, to have both your teams in college and NFL just terrible, like non-competitive. At least, the Horns were competitive there at the first. Kind of like the Cowboys. The Cowboys were kind of competitive there at the first and just make stupid mistakes and lose. Now they're both completely uncompetitive. They're getting waxed in every game they play. The Cowboys are going to get destroyed tomorrow. If they don't, shame on the Giants, because the Cowboys should get killed tomorrow. I hope not, but, it's what happens. And, going back to the other Big 12 teams, Oklahoma bounced back from their loss to A&M and blew out Texas Tech. And then Texas A&M had a slow start against Baylor. Baylor probably should have won that game, but Texas A&M once again showed guts, showed heart. Tannehill's a good quarterback, and won that game there. And it pulled away. So congrats to Texas A&M. Congrats to Oklahoma. Even Baylor. They lost today, but it was a football game. Once again, like, I'm just giving credit to teams for just making it football games. I don't get to watch that anymore for Texas. It's careening off the hill, I guess. So yeah, that's the look around the Big 12, and Texas is at the bottom. Like I said, this is the worst team, not just in the Big 12 South. This is the worst team in the Big 12. Colorado would beat us, and they beat Iowa State today, and Iowa State beat us. So, all right, guys. Hey, that being said, I am still here. I am still going to rep the Longhorns. I wasn't one of the ones who left early. I don't leave that game until Gabriel blows his horn. And that's just always been my thing. If you're gonna be here, it's for the YouTube. It's for anything as a fan. If you are going to enjoy the good times, and Texas has had some good times, you got to be there for the bad times. You can't thump your chest if you don't take your licks. Right now, Longhorns are taking their licks right now. We're probably going to have a tough game against next week against Florida Atlantic, and we're probably going to get destroyed by A&M. That's just how it looks right now. But I'll still be there, still putting the horns up, and hoping we get just play good football. I'm just looking for good football now, not even wins. Wins are that's crazy. That's bonus. I just want competitiveness. But hey, what we got now. So, hook 'em horns, Texas fight. Congrats, Oklahoma State. You guys go and see if y'all can win the Big 12 championship. You guys are good enough to do it. See Florida Atlantic next week. God, this season sucks.